Most gardeners trying to feed their soil are actually doing something that, well, slows soil life down instead of boosting it. And the crazy part is that the advice gets repeated everywhere. Add molasses to your soil to feed microbes. Sounds logical, right? Sugar feeds microbes. But after testing it side by side with something most gardeners throw away, the results weren't even close. One of these boosted microbial activity overnight, and the other barely moved the needle. And before I even ran the test, I made sure I wasn't fooling myself. Because one mistake gardeners make when experimenting with soil biology is ignoring moisture, temperature, and pH conditions. Those three things alone can completely change microbial activity. That's why I always check my beds with a 4-in-1 soil moisture meter that measures soil moisture, temperature, pH, and sunlight intensity. If moisture or pH is off, your microbes won't respond no matter what you add. It's a simple tool, but it saves a lot of guesswork. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. Now here's what surprised me. When I tested spent yeast versus molasses, one of them triggered a microbial explosion in less than 24 hours. The other mostly fed bacteria for a short burst and then flattened out. And if you care about long-term soil fertility, that difference actually matters more than most gardeners realize. Let me show you exactly what happened. Most gardeners misunderstand what soil microbes actually want. The common advice is simple. Add sugar to feed microbes. That's where molasses became popular in organic gardening. Molasses contains simple sugars, minerals, and a small amount of nutrients, so people assume it fuels the entire soil food web. But soil microbes aren't just looking for sugar. They need carbon, nitrogen, amino acids, and trace nutrients to reproduce efficiently. Sugar alone gives them energy, but it doesn't provide the full nutritional profile microbes need to multiply rapidly. That's why I started wondering if spent yeast might actually be better. Spent yeast is basically a microbial protein bomb. It contains amino acids, nitrogen compounds, B vitamins, and cell wall materials that microbes love to break down. In composting systems, yeast can act like a microbial starter culture. So instead of guessing, I tested both. Here's how I ran the garden test. I ran the test in 2 raised beds and 1 hydroponic biofilter container, just to see how each behaved in different systems. Each soil bed received equal watering and identical compost content. I checked soil moisture and pH first, because if conditions aren't consistent, your results mean nothing. Soil moisture was around 25 to 28%, which is ideal for microbial activity, and pH was sitting around 6.6. One bed received 1 tablespoon of molasses diluted in 1 liter of water per square meter. The second bed received 1 tablespoon of spent yeast dissolved in 1 liter of water per square meter. Both were watered directly into the root zone in the early evening when microbial activity tends to ramp up overnight. And this is where things got interesting. By the next morning, the soil smelled completely different. If you've spent enough time working with living soil, you start recognizing the smell of microbial activity. Healthy soil has that rich, earthy smell from compounds called geosmins, produced by actinobacteria. The molasses bed smelled slightly sweeter the next morning, but the yeast bed smelled like fresh forest soil after rain. When I checked soil respiration with a simple carbon dioxide jar test, microbial activity in the yeast-treated soil was almost 3 times higher than the molasses bed. That doesn't mean molasses doesn't work, but it works differently. Molasses feeds microbes fast, but it burns out quickly. It acts kinda like an energy drink for bacteria. The sugars spike microbial metabolism really quickly, especially among those fast-growing bacteria. But since molasses doesn't really have much nitrogen or protein, the population growth just slows down once all that sugar is used up. So you get a short microbial sprint, not any sort of sustained growth. That's totally fine if you're brewing compost tea or just trying to give microbes a temporary boost. But honestly, if you want to build soil biology for the long haul, Molasses just isn't the strongest tool. Spent yeast, on the other hand, feeds the whole microbial food web. Yeast cells are packed with amino acids, peptides, and all sorts of nitrogen compounds. When soil microbes break them down, they release nutrients that support bacteria, fungi, and even protozoa. That's actually why the activity spike lasted longer in the yeast bed. Instead of just a quick sugar burst, the microbes were busy breaking down more complex organic compounds. That process fuels microbial reproduction, not just temporary activity. After about 3 days, the yeast bed still had roughly double the microbial respiration of the molasses bed. Plant growth started changing within a week, which is pretty cool. The crops growing in these beds were kale, lettuce, and bush beans. Fast-growing crops are really great indicators of microbial improvements. By day 7, the plants in the yeast bed had noticeably darker leaves. The kale especially had thicker stems and faster leaf expansion. Why does this happen? Well, it's because active microbes unlock nutrients. As microbial populations grow, they start breaking down organic matter faster, releasing plant-available nitrogen, phosphorus, and a bunch of micronutrients. That's actually the real secret of soil fertility. Healthy soil feeds plants through biology, not just fertilizer. But here's the mistake gardeners make with yeast. When people hear about yeast improving soil biology, they often dump baker's yeast directly into their garden beds. That's not what I'm recommending. Active baker's yeast competes with existing microbes and doesn't necessarily integrate well into soil ecosystems. What worked in my tests was spent yeast, the kind left over from brewing, fermentation, or even expired nutritional yeast. Those dead or inactive cells become microbial food instead of microbial competitors. If you're using yeast powder, dissolve a small amount in water and apply lightly. You don't need much. In most beds, I use roughly 1 tablespoon per square meter once every few weeks. More isn't better. Too much organic input can actually cause microbial imbalances. Hydroponic systems responded even faster. The hydroponic biofilter experiment was honestly the most dramatic. In hydroponic setups that rely on beneficial bacteria, organic inputs can really stimulate microbial colonies in the filter media. When I added diluted molasses, bacterial activity increased just a bit, but it stabilized pretty quickly. But when I added spent yeast solution, biofilm growth shot up rapidly in the filter media, and nutrient cycling improved within about 48 hours. Water clarity got better and nitrate conversion stabilized faster too. That tells me yeast isn't just feeding bacteria, it's actually supporting a wider microbial network. So, should you stop using molasses entirely? Not necessarily. Molasses still works well when you're brewing compost tea because microbes need quick energy during those aerated brewing cycles. But if your goal is building soil life in raised beds, containers, or garden plots, spent yeast appears to deliver stronger microbial growth. And the best part, it's often free. Breweries, fermentation kitchens, and even home brewers usually just throw it away. Healthy soil isn't built with shortcuts. The biggest lesson from this test is something most experienced gardeners eventually learn. Soil health isn't about dumping random amendments into your garden. It's about understanding biology, moisture, temperature, and microbial food sources. That's why tools that measure soil conditions matter more than people might think. If moisture or pH is off, even the best microbial food just won't work properly. Again, I'll leave the soil meter I use in the description, because it's honestly one of the easiest ways to remove the guesswork. Once your soil environment is right, small inputs like yeast can make a surprisingly big difference. One small change can wake up your soil overnight. After running this test several times across different beds, one thing became really clear. Molasses feeds microbes, but spent yeast feeds microbial growth. And that difference can mean faster nutrient cycling, stronger plants, and soil that keeps improving year after year instead of slowly wearing out. If you enjoy experiments like this and want real gardening techniques that actually work in backyard gardens, raised beds, containers, and hydroponic systems, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you know another gardener who still thinks molasses is the ultimate soil booster, send them this video, because once you start understanding how soil biology actually works, gardening stops being guesswork and starts becoming a whole lot more productive.